gosh, I've been waiting for a drink for forever. Where is the bartender? Okay, I guess I'll just help myself to a little whiskey. Neat.
I wonder where has he been? When will I see him again? All this not knowing well, it's starting to play tricks on my head. He's still messing with me, never quite as he seems. Really knew me.
Oh my gosh! Is that Jillian fresh off her incredible run in Spit&Vigor's Ectoplasm?
Oh, hey, yes, yeah.
Oh, welcome to the Velvet Curtain, Jillian. I haven't seen a bartender in hours, but can I pour you a whiskey?
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, cheers and welcome.
Cheers, thank you.
It's very nice to have you here at the Velvet Curtain. I'd love to start with where you're from.
I'm originally from Florida, actually.
Exciting.
Yeah. Born and raised. Grew up on the East Coast. Yeah.
Amazing. Me too. Did you go to school for theater?
I did. I went to Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida, and I got my Bachelor's of Arts in Theater. So that includes like everything. And we did everything from costuming, from, set design. I actually dabbled in lighting design for a little bit. And then I was
Fun.
an actor. Yeah.
I remember in school having to do light, hang, and focus, and I just recently took that off my resume because I was like, I legitimately could not do that now. But I love that was a special skill at some point.
Yes. Yeah, it was not a lot of girls actually were involved with, or female identifying people were involved with lighting design. And my mentor kind of just like took me under his wing, and and I dabbled in that. And at the same time, I was like my senior year, I was designing 2 shows, and then I was the lead in one, and then assistant directing another. It was like a whole thing.
Oh my gosh, so well-rounded.
Yes, that was actually the motto, was a well-rounded theater artist when you graduated.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Have you, so with all of these skills, like, have you done a one-woman show? Are you planning on doing a one-woman show?
Oh my gosh. I don't really enjoy one-person shows, so I don't see myself. Every once in a while, I can tolerate one. Like there's one that I can think of called Apples in Winter that I actually really enjoyed. But other than that, I can't imagine myself writing or being in one. I do like to write, though. I will say that. Yeah.
Well, you have the skills to put one together if you ever.
It's been a hot minute, but yeah.
What was your first theatrical experience?
Well, I grew up as a dancer.
Ooh,
So,
all
yeah.
kinds of dance?
I started with ballet, tap, and jazz, and then it kind of moved into modern, whatever that is.
Sure.
And I did that from age 4 to 14, and then
Very long time.
yeah, I quit because I went to a Catholic school and I was an honor student.
Same.
And I just didn't have time anymore. And then so I guess I used to dance and stuff a lot. But my first production ever, as in a play, a friend of mine convinced me to audition for a High School Musical that we were doing, and it was Pippin.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah, love.
Yeah.
So Sarah, Spit&Vigor's Sarah Fellini and I did Pippin as well in high school. I feel like it's a rite of passage.
It's so fun, and yeah, I wasn't really expecting to kind of just get hooked into theater. I actually wasn't going to do theater in college at that point in my life. I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of smart, and I don't really know what to do, and I think I was actually researching how to become a librarian at one point.
Okay. That's cool too.
And then my mom, she said to me when I was about to start my first semester in college, she said to me, Jillian, I'm not putting up with you being miserable for the rest of your life. You're a performer, you belong on the stage. And I was like, she just told me like the thing I needed to hear, and I was a theater major all of a sudden.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I have to thank your mom because I saw Ectoplasm and you were incredible.
Oh my God,
Like,
thank you.
like, I left a huge fan. I was like, she's gonna be a star. Like,
Oh my God.
I was so impressed with your work in that show, and so I'm glad your mom said that.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a huge journey. I mean, I went to grad school after college and everything, just trying to figure out like if this is where I need to be, and it's like I can't live without it. So thank you for the validation.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm a huge fan. This is very exciting to be drinking a whiskey with you at the Velvet Curtain Bar.
Thank you.
Of course. So was grad school also in Florida?
Grad school was also in Florida, but that time I moved to the West Coast. So Flagler College is in St. Augustine, which is like Jacksonville area, so south of Jacksonville. And then I went to the FSU Oslo Conservatory for Actor Training.
It's a lot of words.
Yeah. And it's part of Florida State University, but it's actually located in Sarasota, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got my master's in acting, my MFA.
Amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can teach too.
I
And
can
you do teach, right?
And I do teach. Yes,
Cool.
I do teach. Yeah. I about a year ago, actually, I taught an undergraduate level at Flagler to help a friend out.
Oh my gosh, was that
Yeah.
like mind blowing to teach people who you once were?
Yes. Yeah, I was so like kind of taken aback because, you know, he calls me and he's like, "Hey Jill, can you come in and I need your help. You have an MFA, so you know you can do it." And I was like, "What? Can I?" And that was like, I had coached like one-on-one before, but I had never done like an acting class. And it's amazing. This is for anyone who wants to listen to this conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a bit of a sign from the universe that like if you think that you're not good at something, just try doing it, and it just kind of, you will be shocked at how much you actually have retained from your life experiences that you can give to other people. And that's like, yeah, that was like the moment that I got into that classroom, and I was so nervous. I didn't know if I could remember everything that my mentors had taught me and stuff, and then you just kind of get into like a rhythm, and it just kind of happens, and you're like, oh, well, can I curse on this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna.
100%.
Well, now that I've ruined the moment,
we love cursing at this bar.
Yeah. Well, it just kind of dawned on me that I was like, well, holy shit, I know a fuck ton. I have a lot of knowledge in my brain, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we all have imposter syndrome, and it's so interesting when like even the most skilled or people who have had the most education, I think, sometimes feel like, oh, can I actually do this? And then it's good to know you crushed it.
yeah. But that aside, I am currently taking any students who want some coaching.
What kind of coachings do you do? Like, is it monologue, scene study, commercial?
I mainly do like monologue or audition prep kind of stuff, and I also do like character study. So maybe not necessarily a scene study, but I could do that actually. That's a good idea.
No problem. Heard it here first.
Yeah.
And what brought you to New York? When? What? So I'm from New York, and I feel like I don't know if I would have been brave enough to move here.
Yeah, I have been trying to move to New York since college, and then I was like, but grad school, and I was taking acting gigs everywhere, and like everywhere. Like they were like literally small acting gigs at in like the mountains in Virginia and stuff like that for like $75 stipend. Like it was like,
Amazing.
yeah, it's
The love of the craft.
yes, it was definitely driving me for sure. And then I was going to come to New York. I graduated in April of 2020.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I graduated with my master's, and I was supposed to have a showcase, where all of the agents and representation come to and see you perform, and that got canceled. So
Was that tough?
Yeah, that was
You don't need to get
graduation.
into it if you
Oh
want
no,
to.
I mean it's been 2 years. It sounds crazy to say. It's been 2 years. So I feel distanced enough from it that it doesn't feel like, it feels like a distant memory right now. Of this I remember just sitting in my house in Sarasota and just being like, well, what now? There's no industry. There's no, like, my graduation was on Zoom. I don't get a showcase. Where do I go?
Where did you go?
I went home with my parents for a year and a half. Yeah.
How nice to spend that time with them.
Oh yeah, we needed it. I hadn't really spent a lot of time with my family because I was always away at school, and yeah, I hadn't been back home since high school, so it felt a little weird, and I did feel like that weird stubbornness of like, I'm not a teenager anymore, kind
Yeah.
of. But it was good. We needed it. I definitely grew closer with them. And then when it came time to come, my parents are actually from, my mom's from West New York, New Jersey.
Oh.
And yeah, my dad is from South Ozone Park, Queens.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I said I wanted to move to New York, it was why? We moved down here for you kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
To be in the sunshine?
Yeah, and I think at the time, like back in the 80s, I think Florida was probably a bit more tolerable than my current view of it is right now. Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I thought I needed to get a plan together. I started, all of my unemployment money went into moving costs.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I could get up here and get found an apartment, and everything just kind of fell into place. And that's when I knew, like, this is the time to come here. And I came here to perform. So it was like really great to have Ectoplasm. I just moved here in September. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And okay, what was your audition like?
The audition was like, I submitted a self-tape to Nick and Sarah and Adam, and within like a day they were like, can you come in? And I was like, okay. And I came in, and
Amazing.
I originally was not the character that I played.
What?
Yeah, I was originally the understudy for the 4 female characters except my character.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was this whole thing happened, and
Okay.
yeah, and then COVID affected a couple of our cast members and stuff like that, and then I just got this email one night. Hey, Jillian, can you step into the leading role? And I was like, I actually haven't been working on this one. So
Oh my gosh.
But,
how much time did you have to like memorize and prepare?
it was like the first week of December that they told me. So we had like a month, but the cast kept changing because of conflicts, and so it literally felt like running on moving ground. Like we were jumping through hoops trying to figure out how to save this production. But of course, yeah, I was like,
an
yes.
incredible job.
Yeah, this cast was one of the best, if not the best, casts that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. Everyone was so fun and like willing to jump in, and you could just feel this energy of like togetherness. I really, really, really deeply love every person in that cast.
Oh, that's so incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it certainly like showed that everyone was just incredible and that show came together so nicely. I loved it. Love Ectoplasm.
Yes.
Can quote me on it.
No.
That's very exciting. Like coming to New York, booking a job as a performer right away.
Yeah,
Do
and
you have? Oh yeah, sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna go into like that was like my first thing that I am kind of a part of is like I'm a resident actor at Hamlet Isn't Dead, which is a little Shakespeare cohort. I say little, it's not little. And I did like my first experience was doing sonnets at New York Botanical Gardens, and like so I was like, okay, like this is
So nice.
Yeah, and then Ectoplasm just kind of literally one of the weekends that I was working at the gardens, I looked on Playbill.com and I saw an audition for Ectoplasm, and I was like, all right, why not? And when I read the sides, I absolutely fell in love with the character that I ended up playing. And I
my
remember,
God.
I was like, I love this character and I want to play this character. And when they offered me the understudy tracks, I was like, all right, well, maybe this is just how I'm meant to be involved in this show in this capacity. And I was just kind of rolling with the punches. But then when I actually got to play the character that I absolutely loved, I was like, what is this? What kind of karma? What way of the universe is this? It just kind of happened.
Perhaps it's your gift for having the showcase canceled.
In that case, thank you, universe, and cheers to you.
I feel like that was it. Yeah. And I feel like this is a pretty good showcase. So, have you had any memorable mishaps on stage?
Tons. Oh my gosh, tons.
Can you give me your top 1 or 3?
Oh gosh. Okay. I will go with I don't know about mishaps, but there was all right. I'll go with the mishap. The mishap first. The biggest one that sticks out in my brain is I was I don't know if you're familiar with the play Life is a Dream.
I am not.
Okay. Well,
give me a little backstory, please.
Yeah. It's like he's a Spanish writer of like a contemporary of Shakespeare. So all of his stuff is classical, written in verse, translated from Spanish into English is the version that I did. And my character is seeking revenge. I kind of likened her to like a Princess Leia for the Star Wars nerds out there of this universe, or like a Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill or something. Like she was seeking revenge from a lover that abandoned her, and this one, the main character, he's this prisoner, and he's the rightful heir to the throne, but he has been imprisoned because an oracle. This is kind of getting into Greek theater. An oracle predicts that he will be this virulent kind of ruler, and so without even giving him the chance, his father imprisons him as a baby. Now, in the future, the father is on his deathbed, and this grown man is in prison, and he's very distraught with his life. And his father says, as a test of character, we're going to drug him. He's going to fall asleep. He's going to wake up, and he's going to be in lavish bedclothes and in a full fluffy bed with servants, and we're going to see how he reacts to this. And he doesn't react too well to it.
I'm sure.
He becomes like this spoiled brat, and my character kind of crosses paths.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was so hard. It must be the whiskey. With him in mid search of her ex-lover that abandoned her, and he tries to sexually assault her.
Oh my.
Yes, and the way that we had staged it, everything was over the clothes, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he was supposed to swing me from one side of the stage to the other and get me hike up my skirt a little bit, just to give the indication of what was happening. Mm-hmm. And one night, we got a little too out of out of sync a little bit, and he stepped on the train of my skirt and threw me up against the wall like we had planned, but I just heard this rip in the back, and I was like, oh no. And then as he flings me to the other side where he's supposed to hike up my skirt flat up just falls to the ground. And I am no skirt on. And we both know, like, we like kind of came out of character and like in a second and just looked each other in the eye, and I just gave him like a nod, like, I understand what's about to happen, we can proceed, kind of thing. Yeah. And then my skirt was wool, and it added like 15 pounds to my weight. So when he flung me to the other side, I got knocked up pretty bad. Like my hip hit the side of the platform, and I hit my elbow and the back of my head and everything, because I was so used. It was like Pavlov's dog. I was so used to a certain weight that I wasn't prepared to just kind of fly across the room this time, because the extra weight was gone. And so, thankfully, right after that is intermission.
Great.
And so I just ran backstage, and I just went to a stage manager, and I was like, can someone please get my costume off stage? And they were like, what? And then they looked down, and they saw that I had nothing on. And they were like,
oh my gosh, no.
Oh, yeah, because this is... Our theater didn't have like stage monitors or anything like that, so they could hear what was happening maybe off stage, but they couldn't see anything on like a camera monitor or anything. So then my co-star came back, and he just like hugged me. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He just kept apologizing over and over again. I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was probably the biggest stage. But
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Very memorable.
Very memorable. Yeah, it always popped. Like, I feel like this story always comes up in discussion.
I mean, it's a really good one. As it should. Have you been to the theater in New York since in the past few months?
Oddly, not since I've been here. Yeah, my day job is I never really know what my schedule's going to be like. Once I think my schedule is something, it'll change the next week, and so I'm always like hesitant to plan ahead to go see a show.
Yeah. Is there something you're wanting to see?
Not particularly. I've been suggested to go see like Hadestown and
so good.
Yeah. But I'm kind of I'm not really. I enjoy musicals, but I'm not really like a big musical person.
Except for Pippin.
Except for Pippin, but but yeah, anything. I think this is probably what really drew me to Spit and Vigor was I'm really into like the indie vibe. Like I went to part of my graduate degree was to go study abroad in London.
Fun.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh my gosh. If anyone has the time or the funds to go to London, please go. Make it happen.
I just booked a flight today, actually.
Oh my gosh. I
have a wedding, yeah.
A wedding in London? Oh my god, that's so magical. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
very excited, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I lived in Manchester for 6 months, so I have...
Oh, okay, so that's a little bit north. Okay,
yeah, but all my friends are based in London.
I love London. I love the theater scene in London. It's like affordable and it's well done.
Yes. I saw Prince of Egypt there in I was there over Thanksgiving, and it was just the staging was beautiful, the way the like bodies were used to portray action and be the set. It was just incredible.
Yeah. Where was that at?
I think it was at the Dominion Theater. It was a West End show.
Dominion. Okay, Dominion. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think, oh my gosh, I'm almost certain I was at Dominion. I don't remember which show. I saw like something like 35 shows when I was there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What was the one standout?
Wow, okay.
If you had to pick one.
See, I feel like this is unfair because I went to the National quite a number of times,
Right.
and the National they just get it. They just understand. But
You
there
can
was
say more
this-
than one.
I will.
I'll allow it.
Okay, good. Thank you. I think for me, one of the top experiences was the show called Anna, and it was in the the Dorfman Theater at the National. So it was the smaller space, and they had like a glass, like a pane of glass along the proscenium of the stage, and it was like a box set, but instead of the fourth wall being open to the audience, it was a pane of glass, like see-through glass, and it was as if you were
Oh.
looking into the windows of an apartment in 1960s Berlin. It was absolutely stunning, and they mic'd only one actor, the lead, Anna, and you experienced this entire play with headphones on, and you could only hear everything through her perspective where she was on the stage. And it was incredible. And she was a survivor of she was a kid during the Holocaust, and so now she's in her 20s, and she's relocated to Berlin, and she meets she finds out that her husband's boss was the kid that outed her and her family to the Nazis.
Oh my gosh.
And they're having a dinner party, and she sees him in her living room, and then there's a moment where they're alone, and you can just hear her breathing with like because you've got these headphones on, and you can just hear like the shaking, like she's shaking, and I wanted to do a scene from that for my showcase, but my director was like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, but it's so good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Super heightened, that was, I think just because of the medium of like how it was shown to us, how we experienced it, I think that's why it definitely sticks out in my mind. But there were others. There was this really cool, like, hole in the wall kind of theater in, oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of the town. Islington? Yes,
Okay,
that's right.
yeah.
Just like, it's like London, but it's like just out, like on the outskirts a little bit. It took like 30 minutes on a train to get there. And it was this 3-person play, and they were all, oh my goodness, I can't think. Sitting. It was called Sitting. That was the name of the play.
And were they
it was,
sitting the entire time?
They weren't, but they were.
Okay.
They were all
Interesting.
at different points in time having their portrait done by an invisible artist.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, one ended up being, I think it was his daughter, and one was like, one was the mother of his kid, but like they were all at different points in time. So like the daughter one was in the future, and she's like asking questions about her mom and stuff like that. And then, yeah, and that was a pretty cool small theater. Like it was kind of black box style, where you were sitting in a basement in this cool establishment. Yeah, and that one was cool. And then of course I went to the RSC and I saw Shakespeare, and I went to the Globe and I saw Shakespeare.
Fun.
Yeah, I couldn't not.
Yeah. I mean, if you're there, you kind of have to. Oh, that's amazing. Ooh, now I'm so excited to go back to London. I had some more questions for you. But my brain just stopped for a second. Must be the whiskey going to my head. What do you have, like, a dream role?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think there are roles on my bucket list that I would like to do, but I don't hold one higher than the other. I think
Sure.
I'm very interested in, again, indie theater, or like kind of newer works by underrepresented people. That's what I'm kind of paying attention to right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of my training, I'm sorry, I keep smacking my lips like crazy.
You're fine.
Got dry mouth from the whiskey.
All the whiskey. More wasted.
All of the whiskey, more whiskey. But my background, a lot of my training in grad school was with Shakespeare. We dedicated a whole year to it, and so I think I am right now exploring the worlds of the women in Shakespeare, and how they're written. And I have always wanted to play, and I don't really know why, because it's not glamorous or anything, but I've always wanted to play Ophelia in Hamlet. Yeah. Because there's this certain point, and likewise, I've worked on Lady Macbeth, but I've not done a full production yet. Whereas Lady Macbeth, I've only done scene work and scene study and stuff. But there's something about the way. I mean, obviously, it's written by a man, so there's only so much truth, but there is something about loss that kind of you can either overcome it or you can deteriorate, and both of them kind of fall into they kind of lose their minds a little bit, and it's and I think I'm just curious about those worlds and what can cause that and stuff. And obviously I want to do it safely.
Yes, yeah. But to be able to fully immerse yourself in that. Yeah. Not just for a scene or two.
And I think I feel like I was just saying this to a friend the other day. The stories of Shakespeare, which I think is why he's, lasted 400 plus years. The stories are universal. People still experience grief and loss and war and rivalry. Those are universal themes. And so, So Ophelia, Lady Macbeth, I feel like that's so cliche to say those things.
but they are great roles, and that I understand. Do you have a favorite Shakespeare play?
Ooh. Oh, that's so hard to say.
I always really loved Titus Andronicus, but I feel like whenever I say that, I'm like, oh, it's very
Titus.
violent, very
Yeah, Titus is. It's really hard to watch, but yeah, I feel like I saw a production. It was during the pandemic. National Theater Live released their a version of Titus. I think on online. I remember watching it with my old roommate and seeing Lavinia come out, and I was just like, oh my god, wow, this is horrifying.
Great. I'm gonna have to look up that production.
Yeah, I can't think of the actors that were in it now. I really enjoy Romeo and Juliet as well. I feel like that is so cliche to say.
But
as
classic,
well.
and
but it's classic.
And you always hope it's going to work out in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a touring production of Romeo and Juliet, and it's I don't know, the kids just really, I did an educational tour, sorry. It was the kids. In Florida, we went around to all kinds of schools everywhere, from I think it was 3rd and 4th grade and up, through college. So it was interesting to see different age groups and how they reacted to Romeo and Juliet. Whether it was oh my god, you guys were so in love, why didn't you just wait? Or or you guys are stupid, you guys are dumb, why would you do that? That's not worth it. Love is not worth it. And it's wow. I remember being in both of these eras in my life. And I do really enjoy Hamlet and Macbeth. I think. I mean, obviously, I mentioned Ophelia and Lady M, but also Richard III is really cool too. I'm gonna put that out there.
Excellent. Yeah. I love your list.
Thanks. It's so cliche, but there's only 37 or so plays to pick from, so
I mean, yeah. You picked a good one.
Thanks.
Do you have a favorite contemporary play that you'd love to do besides Ectoplasm, which you've already done?
Yes.
I think I just love saying the word ectoplasm too.
It's a cool. I think. Side note, I'm gonna go on a little side tangent. When I saw the word ectoplasm, I immediately thought Ghostbusters.
Sure.
And so I was let me, and full disclosure, I'm a spooky, witchy person, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, yada, yada, yada.
Okay, what's your favorite Halloween costume you've done?
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay.
You can say 3 because I know I have 3 that I'm like, well, I can't pick one.
My most recent Halloween costume, I think, this past Halloween, was pretty spot on. I had to work that day, which I work retail.
Very spooky.
Yeah. And so I was like, what can I wear to work that's not obviously a costume, but if someone has seen this really niche thing, they would be like, oh my god, she's in costume right now. But I dressed up as Elaine from The Love Witch. I don't know if you've seen The Love Witch.
I don't know what that is. No.
It was like a 2016 indie film, and it was filmed in Technicolor, and so it takes place in the It's like 60s. What do you call it? I'm trying to think. It's like a remnant of the 60s. So it's not, because they still have like iPhones and stuff, but like the cars they drive and the clothes they wear and the makeup, everything is styled like glamour 60s Technicolor. It's so cool. And so she wears this bright blue turquoise makeup like a la Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra. And so I like had this like black witchy dress on, and I put this bright blue eyeshadow on, and I went to work. And the people that work with me were like, "Oh my god," because I don't normally dress like that.
Oh my gosh!
So they're like, "That's a Halloween costume, right?" And I was like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's Halloween." So I did that, and I
That's
think,
cool.
quite honestly, I'm patting myself in the back. I did really well with the makeup on that one.
It sounds very clever. I'm gonna have to check out that movie.
It's such a good movie. It's very feminist and really indie and super cool, and I love it. And I think I always I think in high school, oh my god, grad school, my goodness. In grad school, I dressed up as oh my gosh, I can't think of her name right now. And I feel so bad. It's one of the Hex girls in Scooby-Doo. She's got red hair.
Velma? Daphne?
No. The Hex girls.
Oh.
The
Hex Girls.
Okay. Oh gosh, this is,
Yeah,
this
tell
is
me.
so niche. I get so niche with my Halloween costumes. People will never know what I am for Halloween.
It's pretty amazing, though.
It was one of the straight to video Scooby-Doo films called Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, and so there were these 3 witchy, vampiric kind of characters. They were in a punk band, like a punk rock band, in this, and I was like the lead singer in that. And I just like sprayed my hair with like red, and I put like fangs in, and like had fingerless gloves on, and had a bat necklace.
Dedication.
Yeah. I threw some pretty great parties in grad school. My Halloween parties were pretty great in grad school. And I'm very happy now in retrospect that I had them because of the pandemics.
Well, now you'll have to like bring them to New York.
Yeah,
Now that you're here,
I'm
you
slowly building up my circle of friends, and
Mhm.
I would love to have a massive Halloween party.
Oh, you have to. Crossing my fingers for an infant.
Oh yes. I go all out. I changed the light bulbs in my lamps.
Oh,
yeah,
you have
to make it like spooky, like I'll do the
Yeah.
black light and like or like an orange or a green light,
That's
for sure.
perfect.
Yeah.
We have a smart light in my living room that changes colors. So whenever we do like a little theme gathering, we change the color of the lights to match the vibe. Like I had a tea party a couple weeks ago, and the light was pastel pink. Or like for St.
Aw.
Patrick's Day, it'll be green.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I have to look into that.
Yeah, I highly recommend like a smart bulb, and then you turn it on with an app on your phone.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Technology, man.
Yes. Yeah, so who is your favorite contemporary playwright? If you have one. It's okay if you don't.
Contemporary playwright.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where my education, and this is, partly my fault and partly what I was exposed to when I went to school. I feel like I wasn't like really well versed in contemporary writers, like or contemporary plays.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got a lot of, Ibsen and like O'Neill and Shakespeare, and when it came to modern stuff, it was just kind of like I would get off like when I would ask teachers, they would like give me plays from like the 80s or something, like Beth Henley's The Miss Firecracker Contest or something like that. I'm like, this is not a contemporary play. This is 20 years old now, or 30 years old now.
And I mean, all of that is a foundation for what's going on now.
Yeah, and so
it's important to know all those things, to do plays now.
Yeah, and honestly, like during the pandemic, I wanted so badly to kind of catch up with things, and then I just got super overwhelmed with the amount of things that I didn't know, that I just kind of resulted to paralysis of just like, I'm not doing any of it. So
yep. I think many people can relate to that.
Like I subscribed to the new play Exchange and what is it called, Scribed or Scribd? I'm never sure what it's called. So that I could have like PDF access to all of these plays, and I just got overwhelmed by what I was seeing, that I was like, I'm just gonna stop.
We'll do nothing. No, I can definitely relate to that. So I have finished my whiskey, but I have one last question for you.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite part about being an actor?
Oh. I mean, the baseline is we're here to tell stories. And I think how we use our voice is vital. How we use what people see is vital. And I think it's important to have people telling stories. I mean, and this goes to like the representation conversation of like we need more people of color and on stage, because to accurately project what's happening in our own lives, what's happening off stage, off camera. So I think it's all about making sure we don't lose our humanity in all of it. I think that's why I'm so drawn to it, especially in the age of technology and the age, of our political climate and stuff. I think it's very easy to resort to apathy, and I think we're here to remind people that we can't. We can't be apathetic. We have to give a fuck. Yeah.
That was incredible.
Sorry.
No, that was amazing. Thank
Not
you
to
so
go
much.
super dark with the last gulp of whiskey here.
No, but art changes the world, and
Yeah.
I think it kind of brings people back to reality, and we're in front of screens all the time. And I just remember reading in this book called How to Break Up With Your Phone, that was like every moment you spend in front of a screen is a moment taken away from real life. And I think live theater especially, you have to pay attention to real life and like the action that's going on in front of you. I think it's a very centering thing too.
Yes. I remember when I was in college, there were articles floating around that was like, the smartphone is the actor's downfall or the actor's kryptonite or something like that, and I can fully attest to that.
Yeah.
We can use it, or we can succumb to it. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's been absolutely lovely chatting with you. Thank you for drinking a whiskey with me, and I hope to see you at the Velvet Curtain Bar again soon.
Oh, I hope to be back. Thank you so much for having me and for being my bartender.
The final bow is nearer than our first go. You said I'd be your mirror. What could I show that you don't know? All of your performances, and I can't hide all the tragic times I've tried.